Hey guys, welcome to another shared news from home. We are live today to talk about all things Bachelor Nation. As always, I am Hibba Berry, joined today by Zachary Reality. It is Friday. The week has gone by. We have a lot of news to talk about, Zachary. So are you ready?
Oh, I've been ready. You know, I'm always ready to dish on all things Bachelor Nation. We just got Katie's night one dress. We're going to talk all about it. So I'm excited to see what you have in store.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. Let's not waste any more time. So let's kick things off with the latest update from actually Matt and Rachael. In an interview with the Wall Street Journal, Matt explained what their relationship currently looks like. He says, quote, "We can have critical conversations about being in this relationship and what I need in a partner, especially if that woman isn't Black, to understand what comes with me and my life and being Black." Matt also added, quote, "It's on people who care about being allies to do the work to be truly anti-racist, and I think it's unfair to leave people without the ability to unlearn and be better," end quote. Now, seems like he's getting very deep on this issue, of course, with his relationship with Rachael and the controversy, of course, which has been the topic at hand for weeks and weeks. And this is interesting to me because on After the Final Rose, and I of course always have to refer back to After the Final Rose because that's really when
Mhm.
we heard from these two speak for themselves about the relationship. Leading up to that, it was all source reporting, he said, she said, it was all speculation. So going back to After the Final Rose, it kind of left us thinking that they're going to go their separate ways. Rachel's going to go on her separate journey to get more educated, get more knowledge about the unconscious racism that she participated in. And it seemed like Matt just kind of wanted to disassociate himself and not necessarily be the teacher for her. She kind of needed to do that on her own. But it seems like here with this quote, he's backpedaling just a little bit. So I hope he kind of clarified it a little bit. It seemed like, of course, you want to be allies, you want to stick with the person and kind of guide them. But based off of what he said on After the Final Rose, it seemed like he just wasn't signed up for the journey to be her teacher. So there's a little bit of a back and forth here. But what are your thoughts, Zachary? Does that kind of make sense what I'm saying? I feel like I hope that makes sense.
No, it totally makes sense. We really haven't heard much from Matt James, publicly since After the Final Rose. So I'm glad that he took the time and kind of spoke out about this because there are a lot of Bachelor Nation fans like us who are invested and want to see what's going on. And at the end of the day, the only person or people that really know what's going on in Matt and Rachel's relationship is Matt and Rachel. And if Matt truly feels that Rachel is doing the work and is, dedicated to educating herself and growing and learning and being an ally to the Black community, then that obviously is the case. Otherwise, Matt, as a Black man, would not want to be with Rachel. So I do believe that Rachel has made efforts and has proven herself to Matt that she is an ally and that she's going to continue educating herself. And, why not give her the chance to do that? If she loves him and he loves her, why not give her the opportunity to educate herself and grow? It's not really fair to just cancel her or just, cut her out and pretend that that relationship never happened or that they didn't fall in love on The Bachelor just because of her past. So I'm happy that he spoke out about it. I wish these two the best. And it looks like they're really happy together.
Definitely agree with everything that you said. It didn't seem like the end of the road for them, but it just seemed like a huge hurdle that they of course had to get over. And the chances of that working out are pretty slim, I do have to say and admit. But as far as how long this will last, what are your thoughts, Zachary? Because I'm curious to hear because we do try to believe that maybe she has learned and has had the knowledge and the education, and of course we will never know that because those are conversations that are happening just between her and Matt. So do you think, behind those closed doors, she is ready now to continue this relationship, kind of pick up where they left off pre-controversy? Do you think
Mhm.
it'll last, if at all?
I think they definitely had a couple really tough months after the final rose and kind of leading up to that. So I definitely think they had to have a lot of tough conversations, but it has been, I would say, almost 3 months. So it has been a little bit of time. Obviously that's not enough for Rachel to completely educate herself and for everything to just be swept under the rug. But it has been a little bit of time, and we know that they have been spending a lot of time together. So there definitely has been a relationship growing. So as far as how long they will last, I don't know. You really never know in these situations. If
Right.
I had to put a prediction on it, because it's more fun to at least predict. Obviously, we don't want to predict when they are going to break up or not. But I don't think I don't think they're going to walk down the aisle. I don't see it working long term. But I do think that they're going to give it a real good shot, and maybe it will last 6 months, maybe it will last 2 years. But if they are truly happy, I truly wish the best for them, and let them get married and let them have those babies. So I'm invested in Matt James. I think he proved himself to be a gentleman and a really charismatic, awesome guy. And I really wish Rachael the best on her journey of self-growth.
For sure. And, again, whether they end up together or not, we just hope that they're happy. And we hope that the public kind of, leans off of them a little bit because this relationship was just blown up so much in the media. And, unfortunately, I always say this, but they really got the short end of the stick. And it's really true because, I mean, we've never seen a couple explode like this. And I don't mean explode, in a good way. Just the relationship was just plastered everywhere on every homepage of every outlet. So they definitely do, unfortunately, have a big magnifying glass on the relationship. Every move is going to be followed, documented. TMZ is going to be there. All the paparazzi will be there. But I just hope that whether it works out or not, I hope they're not too damaged from this experience. And I hope they do find love again, whether that's apart or with each other. But yeah, we'll just have to keep watching and see basically how long these two will last. But you guys, we want to hear from you. Give us your thoughts. How long do you think Matt and Rachel will last? If at all, is this a good idea? What do you think about his interview in the Wall Street Journal? And as always, we will get to your questions, comments, and concerns at the end of this live stream. So just stay put. We'll get to them and just keep on watching as we're going to discuss more and more topics. So it's just going to get juicier and juicier, you guys. But up
Yes.
next, also still staying with the subject of Matt, he also revealed exactly what went down during a fantasy suites during his season. In his interview, he
Ooh.
confirmed that his time with the three women in the fantasy suite never got physical. So those three women, of course, are Rachael, Michelle, and Bree. He says, quote, "I can't speak for anybody but myself, but I think the women appreciated it." He told the outlet, "I did learn things about them that I hadn't gathered, that I don't think I would have learned if I hadn't used that time to really dive deeper into something that might not have been comfortable talking about on camera." So, again, just to recap, fantasy suites are a night where the couple gets to spend the night all night together without any cameras. So this is when really the gloves kind of come off and they can really get raw and authentic with one another because no one's recording them. This isn't on the record. So they can really strip all of the guards down and just be true with each other. Not that they're, putting on a facade when the cameras are on, but they can just really get deep and have that one-on-one time together and only one-on-one because they're with each other only. There's no cameras, there's no crew in the room. But I personally, when I read this, I was a little surprised that they never got physical because I just imagined during fantasy suites, everyone kind of does because you spend this whole time together and you got to figure out if this person has the whole package. You know what I mean? No pun
Hmm.
intended. I really don't mean that, but it's true.
It's the second
You got to
pun.
have, you got, right. So many puns in this segment, but you got to have, of course, the emotional connection. You have to have a conversation with this person. You have to get deep with this person, but you also, there's a physical attraction component as well. I mean, a lot of people do pay attention to that, but it is still a huge part in a relationship. Playing devil's advocate here, but I was kind of surprised by this. But Zachary, I know, of course, you have a little bit more history to previous Bachelorette seasons. So, what are your thoughts when Matt said that he never got physical with any of the women?
These fantasy suites, not tweets, that is where the tea is spilled, Hiba. This is where they finally get an opportunity to have intimate conversations. They are only really seeing each other so many times throughout the show. And when they are being seen, they have cameras, they have producers. There's even producers
Mm-hmm.
like 20, 30 feet away from them when they're having those conversations. So, yes, they're intimate and kind of private, but you still know that there's people watching you. So when you're really dating someone for a couple months and you finally have that off-camera time, it really does put a different layer on it where you truly just want to talk to them and get to know them on a deeper level.
Hmm.
Because yes, they're open, yes, they're vulnerable with the cameras, but you need to kind of take the cameras away and see if that person is still the same person when the cameras are shut down. So this doesn't surprise me
Hmm.
that Matt didn't get intimate with any of the women. We have seen in Bachelor seasons past that there has been bachelors and bachelorettes who have got intimate with one or even two, possibly even three of the contenders. And this is a no judgment zone. I truly believe each their own. Sometimes you got to test the car before you buy it. Sometimes you don't think it's respectful to be intimate with
Hmm.
more than one woman or man just because you are seeing so many people back to back, nights. There's only 3 people left. So there is this respect value you kind of want to have when it gets to fantasy suites. It is kind of a sketchy or touchy subject. So I think that Matt, showed himself to be a gentleman and not get intimate with any of the women, because maybe he could have got intimate with all 3 of them. And would that have made him look like a player, or would that have made him look like someone who really wanted to make sure who he picked, and he needed to kind of get intimate to know that? So it kind of is a touchy subject. And like I just mentioned a couple
Hmm.
minutes ago, this is a no judgment zone. So whatever the Bachelor and the contestants feel comfortable with, I think that the cameras are down and it's kind of none of our business.
1000%. And I'm also curious to kind of throw you a curveball. Do you think any of
Okay.
the women wanted to, get physical with him and unfortunately were denied? Because it can get super messy if,
Yeah.
stuff leaks after, because Rachel was the presumed winner. But what if Rachel found out that, he slept with Michelle or Brie? Like, would that
Hmm.
change her decision to want to commit to
Yeah.
Matt? So there's so much like
Yeah.
dynamics in this as well. So what do you think your thoughts are as far as the contestants' perspective if they wanted to get physical with him?
We've seen that in the past where leads have slept with more than one person and they have been open about it. I can remember on Andy Dorfman's season when on After the Final Rose, Nick Viall literally asked Andy straight up. He was like, "Why did you make love with me if you were not in love with me?" And that was a very bold statement where he
Mm,
threw her under the bus, and she was engaged to another guy. So it was extremely inappropriate for Nick to say that, and it actually affected Andy and Josh's relationship. Now, if I'm dating someone for a couple months, like Brie, Michelle, and Rachel were, I'm ready to get physical with my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a couple months. However, when my man is dating a couple other people, I might not want to get physical until I know that I am the last one left. So because then it's just like it's kind of sketch. It makes it a little different. It's not as intimate and special if you know
hmm.
that he's still dating other people. So yes, I think that they probably wanted to get intimate with him. It definitely is 2-3 months into the relationship. It's time. It's appropriate. It's all fair game. You don't have the cameras there, but there still is that factor that he is in other relationships, and you don't want
Right.
that mess. So I say stay away from it until you're the last one.
And I have to say, it's a little admirable too that Matt decided not to go that far because he could have easily done it. I mean, there's no cameras, there's not necessarily any proof, and it's the most intimate setting in the whole season. So he could have easily done it. But the fact that he decided, no, I want to have even deeper conversations with these women and explore what more there is without the cameras, I think that's a really admirable thing. And he is very religious too, and I'm sure it's all about just like
Mhm.
respecting women and not wanting to rush into kind of like the physical part of a relationship. So again, really good points right there. And yeah, I just really didn't expect him to even disclose that. I thought maybe he just wanted to keep it private, kind of keep it up for interpretation for the public. So I thought that was a really interesting point that he made in the interview. So all these little nuggets we're getting of information about his season. But you guys, of course, as always, let us know what your thoughts are. Did you expect Matt to not get physical with any of the final 3? Let us know in the chat, and also send us any other questions, comments you have about everything we've discussed so far. We will be sure to get to those at the end of the video. All right, you guys, now you will never guess what we have to talk about next. And of course, unfortunately, it's about Katie's freaking skirt. The saga continues, you guys. There
It
has
really
been a lot of
does.
discussion. I know there has been so much discussion, so much debate on what they styled
So much
her in
buzz.
for her promo images. Exactly. And I just feel like this girl is just getting like torn apart about what she's wearing.
I know.
Fans realized that they had her wearing her skirt backwards, and people definitely had thoughts. Bachelor Nation definitely had thoughts. Now that the official poster for her season has been released, as you guys see here in this image, fans think that the choice was made to turn it around because of the pose. So we do see her seated. We don't necessarily see that shot of the skirt down the front, that seam. It was an interesting kind of, tidbit. It did click in my mind, like, okay, she is sitting. We don't see the skirt zipper as much. So maybe they kind of like tried to distract us with having her sit down and, having the skirt just open up. But regardless, you guys, it looks fine. She's got great legs. Like, she looks beautiful. Like, I think we should kind of like settle the dust on this. What do you think, Zachary?
No, no, the fan theories are insane right now on the internet. They are all like, the producers are trying to make her look bad. She went against Chris Harrison. She went against the franchise.
Mm,
I don't think it's that serious. And they're also saying, like, with her style, they're like, she has the worst style, this, that, and the other thing. I don't think it's that serious. I do not think that the show is trying to make her look bad. She is the lead. You want to uplift the lead and make her look as stunning as possible. I do think that they kind of missed the mark on a couple things so far, but I do
mm,
not think they're trying to make her look bad. But also, can we just take a look at this poster? I don't think we've ever seen a Bachelorette so animated. She looks like a cartoon character, and not unlike her
mm-hmm.
fault, but like the editing, it's just, she does not look like a real person. This looks so photoshopped. And there has been a lot of speculation on the internet about this tagline, "See what the buzz is about." People have been saying that this is and it's confirmed that it is an Instagram story title, what the buzz is about, because there's some fan videos going around on Instagram and on TikTok that this is the actual font you can use on Instagram stories. So, this is kind of feeds
Oh,
the fans' egos when they're saying, or not egos, but this kind of feeds the fans' theories when they're like, Katie is getting a low budget season. So part of me is like, guys, calm down. But the other part of me is like, you guys are finding the proof. So maybe you're right. Right?
I know. And I feel so bad because everyone is just nitpicking her season so much.
Yeah.
And I understand there's a lot of hype
That didn't even
around
start
it. And
yet.
I know exactly. And people are just critiquing it so much. There's some people that are just not even interested in watching because of the whole Chris Harrison situation. And also people just aren't really interested in her, Katie, as a person. But I personally thought the see what all the buzz is about was like a vibrator pun. I think it would
Yeah,
have
it
been more
is.
clever. Oh, it is. Okay, because I was like, okay, I think it would have been like more funnier if they did that did it as a pun, because for Matt James this season they had so many puns. And I do agree it is heavily photoshopped. I mean, all these purple hues, these lights with the skirt, and just her looking completely too airbrush and just unnatural. But I mean, she still looks great regardless. But I just feel like the editing just really is overkill, honestly, at this point. Still, again, with that same backdrop that we've discussed of her promo, and then her longer promo video that we got of her wearing that prom dress situation. So I think we're just ready for new footage. We want to see night one content, which we actually will talk about a
Yes.
little bit later on.
Yes.
But I just really hope that I really hope she doesn't get the short end of the stick as well, like Matt James did. I just have been hoping for a smooth season for her. It seems like there's promising contestants. We have Blake in the mix now from Tayshia's season and Claire's season, so we'll see how long he lasts, if he even makes it to the end. We'll have to keep watching, of
Uh-huh.
course. But we are just 1 month away from Katie's season. It is May
Today,
7th
yeah.
right now. Yeah, and her season will premiere exactly in a month, which is June 7th, of course, on ABC. Very exciting. And Katie actually started the countdown on her Instagram. She posted
Aw.
saying, you know what is in exactly 1 month. What is your drink of choice while watching at Bachelorette ABC? So, super cute post. Again, just showing her personality, just having fun. Typical Katie. Again, exciting as always. And I feel like this month is going to fly by. We're just going to have that premiere date like tomorrow by now. It's going to come by so
Yeah.
fast. So, are you excited, Zachary, overall? And what is your drink of choice if you have one when it comes to
Yes.
the premiere of The Bachelorette?
I was hoping you were gonna ask me what my drink of choice is, and I want to know yours too. I love wine, especially red wine, but I think for a premiere night, we got to pop out the champagne. It's only fitting with Bachelor Nation. But you kind of like you had me cracking up a little bit because you are speaking for a lot of people on the internet, a lot of Bachelor Nation. Katie cannot catch a break, and her season has not even
For
started yet.
real.
Like people are really coming for her. Like everything she does, or everything just the franchise does, and she's just the face. Like people are just coming at her for every little thing, nitpicking everything, and it honestly is so laughable. I cannot stop giggling about it. Like this poor girl just wanted to become the Bachelorette, find love. But I'm so glad that she is, taking to Instagram. She's not letting the haters affect her. She's so excited about her season. She wants to get us excited. I mentioned this a couple lives ago. Katie was not my initial favorite when she was announced as the Bachelorette, but as we are getting closer and closer to the premiere, I'm really open to the idea of getting to know her, giving her that fresh start. And I hope that a lot of the viewers are as well, because at the end of the day, she is going to be our lead for the next 2-3 months. And if we truly are Bachelor Nation fans, we need to fall in love with the lead in order to fall in love with the season and just be a part of the process as well. So we are 1 month away. I don't know what you're doing, Hibba, for the premiere, but I'm thinking like I got to get some friends together. I don't know what you're doing. We got to get some type of Bachelorette premiere party, quarantined and safe, together to watch the premiere with champagne. What is your drink of choice, Hibba?
Yes, I agree to all of that. I think it'd be so much fun to do like a Zoom viewing party, Zoom watch party.
Mm-hmm.
I am not like a crazy drinker, but usually like celebratory, definitely like some wine or something. But I also have been saying in the past that no shade to like all the other Bachelorette contestants, but Katie just seems like I don't want to say the word normal, but she seems
Throw the
just so
shade. Throw the shade.
she just seems like someone that you would know in your life. She doesn't have, like I've mentioned, like a beauty pageant background, modeling background. Like she's not from the entertainment industry. She's not like this tall blonde girl. She's just this, average girl that you definitely can see, walking down the street past you. And she just seems like, again, a different energy, a little bit more wholesome. Again, no shade, not like the other girls weren't wholesome or humble, but she just gives me a
Mhm.
different vibe based off of like the past girls that we've seen.
Yeah. But
So
isn't
I'm
that a good
excited to kind
thing
of
that she is the girl next door
oh,
and that she is
absolutely. And
so
I think
relatable?
exactly. And I think maybe that's why some people might be turned off because they aren't used to seeing this type of
Mm-hmm.
lead. And I think it's nice, it's a nice change of pace because maybe this will be a successful relationship because they haven't had a person like her before, and we might get a different ending. So you never know when it comes to like these sort of like concoctions of the leads that they might get. So I do have like good energy to put towards her. Again, I don't want to put too much pressure on this season. And also, I feel like when it comes around to Michelle's season, it's going to be really interesting to see the compare and contrast of how the media reacts to Michelle's promos, what the budget will be like for Michelle. And that will be interesting. But of course, that's going to be towards the end of this year. So we'll have a lot of months to still wait for that comparison.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just interesting. I feel like I hope Michelle isn't too scared because she's seeing kind of the reaction that Katie's getting. So I hope Michelle, is still going to, stick to her guns and still be herself. But I hope they don't put Michelle through the ringer anymore or than compared to Katie that they are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, it's going to be an amazing premiere night. I just hope ratings will be decent enough because I know for Matt James, they were low
Yeah.
key a little low. So we will have to see how the turnout will be for Katie. And again, always let us know, you guys, what you think of Katie's season. Are you going to watch? And if not, tell us why. As always, give us all your thoughts. We want to know. We're dying to know. You guys are always the FBI
Mm-hmm.
agents. You always have some sort of info that we tend to miss or some conspiracy theories. So definitely let us know.
Yes.
And we will get to all of those comments at the end of the video. And let's also continue talking about Katie and what she's wearing because we have our first look at Katie's premiere dress. I'm so excited for this segment. New images were just released, and she is wearing this gorgeous fiery red lace dress. She is giving me like Katniss Everdeen, when she was like twirling and her
Yeah.
dress turned into like flames. What are your thoughts right off the bat, Zachary?
I love a red dress. And I originally, put on my Instagram, I'm like, we have, a bachelorette in a red dress. And then a lot of my followers corrected me and they're like, no, it's coral. So we got a coral
Okay.
queen on night one. Okay. But, we're used to seeing a lot of night one dresses that are a little bit more nude or gray. Caitlin Bristow's was kind of dark black. Tasha's was kind of like dark green. We've never really got a bright, colorful
Yes.
dress for night one. And, like I said, from here in regards to her prom dress in the trailer. and the skirt that was on backwards. So we are going up. We have gone up. I like this dress
Yes.
a lot on Katie. I think it's very flattering. I think it's a beautiful dress for night one. It's kind of a pop of color. I was thinking, I'm like, they're in New Mexico. That's the state they're in. Like, this is kind of a New Mexico dress a little bit, north of Mexico, kind of beachy but deserty. Maybe she's trying to fit the theme here. I think she looks beautiful. I love her hair on the side. And, I think
Yes.
we're stepping it up. We're stepping it up. So let's give her a break on the fashion. This is Zachary reality approved here. Do you like the dress?
Oh, I love it. I love the dress. And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this coral red, blood orange, whatever you want to call it. It is such
Coral.
a different take that we've never seen before." And like you mentioned, the past Bachelorette leads, they've definitely worn that nude sparkle kind of like beauty pageant toned down more of a look. It's still pretty, but it doesn't really stand out compared to Katie's dress. I have to say, I was not a fan of Claire and Tasha's night one dress. I thought it was so bland, and I never think the halter dress look is flattering ever. I feel like it's such an old kind of style. So I was disappointed in their dresses, but looking at Katie's now, I'm like, wow, she looks great. I mean, her skin, that tan, is just making that dress pop even more. The hair, the makeup looks great as well. Sometimes the styling is great, but the hair and the makeup is a total miss. But here, full package. I love it. It looks light, summery, fits her like a glove, tailored well. The straps look good, very supportive. I can approve that as well. And she just looks
Uh-huh.
beautiful. And I think, this is
New
just to
Mexico
kind of,
glow.
yes, just to hit at the haters that have been critiquing her for so long and just say like, okay, you know what? Like there's no way I can look bad. I mean, look at this freaking dress. But anyways, I again think she looks amazing. Just a different, again, fresh new look. I think like what I've been saying is gonna like roll out and become true because again, we've never seen this look on her before. And I don't know if like a Tasha could have pulled this off or a Claire, but for some reason Katie can because I think she just has a different vibe, like I've been saying, different perspective,
Hmm.
kind of different, I don't know, like groove to her step or something. But
Energy.
again, you guys,
You know what, Hila?
yes, let us, yeah,
Tasha
go ahead.
Tasha can pull anything off. Okay? For
Okay, that's
sure.
true because I do have to say her style throughout the season was good, but
So
some
good.
people I don't think could have pulled off Katie's dress here, but I think Katie looks great in it. But yes, as always, you guys send us your thoughts. What were your initial reactions to this coral red, blood orange
Yeah,
fusion
coral.
of a color palette dress? Let us know in the comments below, and we will get to your questions and answer them very soon in this video. But before we get to that, we actually do have a quick Bachelor in Paradise update. Bachelor Nation detectives, per usual, noticed some potential clues on Nick Viall's Instagram. Now, it seems like Wells Adams' photo, along with Ben Higgins, Jared Habon, Dean Ungler, they all seem to kind of be on location somewhere, but Nick actually captioned his
Yeah.
photo to who it may concern. Invite me to your party. And of course, he's holding up his fully vaccinated card saying, hey, you guys, I'm ready to travel. Like, let's go. And then we
Let's
also
go.
see Wells on Nick's story right here. So they're definitely together doing something. And it looks like they're actually on location somewhere in Cabo. And then Nick also posted Jared, I believe that is, yes, Jared, also on
Hmm.
his story. So, some things, being conjured here, it seems very, suspicious. And then we also have Ben Higgins also on Nick's story. It seems like they're just doing like
Hmm.
that same landscape shot of them just
Yeah.
looking out into the distance.
And
And
then
then
there's Dean.
and then Dean changes it up just a little bit. But you guys, it does look like they are in Cabo. Do you have any theories, Zachary? Does it seem like Nick is going to be the host? Group hosting? Maybe they're
Hmm.
going to swap each other out, pair each other up, and swap them out, every week or something for challenges, maybe. Most guys are in relationships, so they could also just be doing guest spots, like I mentioned. If it's true, then because Bachelor in Paradise is shooting now, so it would make sense that they are on location. What are your thoughts? Give me your first impressions, Zachary.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the internet is thinking that this might be Bachelor in Paradise host auditions, getting all of these guys on this trip in this exotic location. Maybe they're all auditioning to be the host of Bachelor in Paradise. There is that possibility. Realistically, it does seem like they are just kind of on a boys trip. We know that this group of friends is really close. They've all been kind of I know they like have always kind of talked about their group chat between the 5, 6 of them. Tanner Tolbert is also a part of that group, but he is, I believe, in Arizona with Jade and their kids. So I don't think that this is a Bachelor in Paradise vibe, to be honest with you guys. But if it is, you never know. It could be a little hosting, auditions. And I do believe that Bachelor in Paradise is set to film very, very soon. They definitely have been casting the past couple of months. So if Wells Adams ends up being the host, he might be going from one location in Mexico to another location in Mexico, kind of like a pre-trip before the actual shooting. So this is definitely giving us a lot of clues and, feeding Bachelor Nation. This is what we like to see. We love their friendships after the show.
I think this concept would be so fun to have, just different hosts either rotate or switch out or group together and host, maybe a week's worth of episodes or something. And I have been kind of advocating for past Bachelor alums to maybe pop in and host Paradise because we are getting Bachelorette alums hosting the current Bachelorette seasons that are going to be rolling out.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to be fun to kind of see what the final decision will be as far as who's going to host Bachelor in Paradise. I think, again, it would be super fun to see past Bachelor contestants host it because it just seems kind of fitting because, the Bachelorettes are kind of paired up for the Bachelorette seasons. So this would make
Mhm.
sense. Again, Wells is a bartender on Bachelor in Paradise, and I think it would be fun for him to be a host and maybe just bring his personality, his ideas, his take with the producers and see if he can kind of implement his style of hosting versus how Chris Harrison hosted. So I think it would be a fun combination. Again, a fresh take, continuing with the theme of rebranding the whole franchise. And again, this is the first Bachelor in Paradise season without Chris. So I think it will be an interesting, again, fresh take. We got to continue with the fresh and new theme. So I
Mhm.
think this will be a good idea and just a nice maybe kind of way to give the baton to someone who's not like a complete stranger like we kind of got with Emmanuel Acho, but someone that's still in the family and knows what it's like to be in those environments. Not that Emmanuel did a bad job. I'm like, he was amazing, but for kind of like the fans to be able to ease into Chris Harrison's absence maybe a little bit better, it would be nice to still have those familiar faces. But again, these are all theories, but we hope, maybe this idea is true. I mean, I think it would be really fun. But if you had to pick one person that you think would be, out of these four, the best host and maybe the fan favorite to maybe continue on as maybe a permanent replacement for Bachelor in Paradise, who would you kind
Mhm.
of put your money on, Zachary?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked this question. Now, I do want to say Wells Adams for host. He has to host Bachelor in Paradise, but I think that Nick Viall actually might make a really
Ooh,
good bartender. He has been in the franchise for a very long time. He's made 4, maybe even 5 appearances on the show in the past decade. He's definitely a Bachelor Nation fan favorite, Bachelor Nation royalty, dare I say. And he's also kind of taken on like a big brother role with a lot of previous contestants. I've noticed in the past few years, a lot of contestants, they get eliminated from the show. They end up on Nick Viall's podcast, The Viall Files. And Nick,
right.
he always has this,
Hmm.
you know, this big brother advice. He does this questions with the Nick thing on his Instagram. He's very wise. He's very involved in Bachelor Nation. I think Nick Viall actually might make a really good bartender if he would be down to do it. And then, as I've been saying for weeks, Wells Adams host, hashtag Wells for host, period, period, period.
I think that would be a great idea. And even if they wanted to maybe do duo hosting like Caitlin and Tasha have been
Mhm.
doing, because I think Nick is really good as far as hosting his podcast. So he kind of has that experience in his back pocket a little bit. And of course, Wells has kind of done, red carpets here and there for like pre shows. So he also has the experience. So maybe put them together. They're best friends, they're buddies. We can have this fun banter. And again, they've been in the position of being in this bachelorette environment, so they really know what it's like. So I feel like maybe they both can be like the equivalent of Tasha and Caitlyn. I think it would be a really fun combo. They have a huge following in the franchise. Bachelor Nation absolutely loves them. They have great personalities, and it just seems like they're kind of like credible people to be in Bachelor in Paradise and to
Yeah,
host. So I
for
think
sure.
either way, bartender, host, vice versa, they would be a great match and a great duo. So, you guys, as always, let us know what you think. We're dying to know. And the time has finally come to hear from you guys watching right now. Be
Yes.
sure to send us any last minute comments, anything else that's on your mind that you want to get off your chest, your Bachelor Nation
Questions.
chest.
What do you want to
We're
know?
ready to
Your
yes, we're
opinions
ready to take
sound
your
off.
questions. Yes, go off right now. So be sure to send them right now. And you guys have always great insight. So please share with us what is on your mind. And again, super excited for Katie's season. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. Bachelor in Paradise predictions, cast predictions, you guys. We still don't know who is going to be part of the cast.
Mhm.
Now, host is still up in the air. Cast is still a big question mark. We've heard whispers of Queen Victoria coming back to reign, maybe over this Bachelor in Paradise island. If it is an island, if it's just Mexico again, we'll have to see. But Zachary, while we wait for some more questions to come in, what are your thoughts on theories of Queen Victoria possibly making a return and showing her face again?
We need Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria is the poster child for
Really?
The Bachelor in Paradise. Yes, every time there is a quote unquote villain in a previous season, we always want to see them on Paradise to shake things up. And Queen Victoria makes great television. But I do have another Bachelorette. I predict the Bachelorette trailer is going to come out next week. Katie's season, we're going to see the men. I am predicting a like 3 to 5 minute trailer to come out next week, because next week it will be 3 weeks before the premiere, and they want to give us like a
Right.
few weeks. Every week we've been getting something. This week it's the dress. Last week it was the promo picture. The week before was like the little teaser. The teaser before that, like, if things are going to go on schedule the way they've been going, I think we're going to get the actual teaser next week. Mark my words.
Ooh, are you going on record, Zachary Reality?
I'm going on record. You heard it here first. If you haven't heard it somewhere else, if I'm wrong, I'll gladly accept that. But from what I have gathered in their little schedule they're doing each week, I think we're going to get it next week. And it
I'm
will be
excited.
explosive.
Yes, I would love to just get any type of video at this point. Like, we got the pictures, we got the promo shots. Okay, we finally saw what she's
Mhm.
wearing. She looks amazing. Like, I want more. I want shots of the guys coming out of the limo and like showing their first expression on their face of what they think when they see her. We've been dying to have this moment and to see this moment. So hopefully we finally get it presumptuously next week based off of Zachary Reality going on the
Mhm.
record and having that prediction. And I hope it does happen, because we have been waiting for such a long time, and the suspense is just building up. I don't know if it's just you and me, because some people
Mhm.
aren't interested, but I am. So very
We're all
excited.
interested here.
Yes, always on shared. We are interested. All right, so it seems like we have our first comment from Jessica, who says, I love Katie's night dress. I know she looks amazing. She, again, just the fit, the styling, the tailoring, it all just works together. She looks amazing. And she's got that, New Mexico tan going on. She's just like sun kissed, like
Mhm.
ready to go.
Yeah, I'm glad that Katie is getting a little bit more love, because she didn't get that too much love on her style in the beginning. We got Leo here. He says Katie's season of The Bachelorette, rule number one: no drama. You know what, Leo? It would not be a Bachelor season without drama. So I don't know if that rule will be applied. I think the first rule is going to be find love. I think that is the
Mhm.
rule, but we need drama. Honestly, I love watching these shows because of the drama. I love the love story too, but I love drama. So I hope we see some drama. Honestly, hopefully not as much as last season, because that was a little bit too
Yes,
heavy on Matt
I
James's
was going to
season,
say,
but I want
right.
to see some drama 100%. I live for the drama.
We truly need a good balance of both. We don't want one to
Yeah.
overpower the other. All right, this next user says Matt James, in my eyes, was so chivalrous that he did not sleep with any of the women in fantasy suites is very commendable. Yeah, totally. Again, just kind of like what I said to kind of piggyback off of that. He, had the opportunity to do who knows what and God knows what. Cameras were off. And again, very respectable that he decided to still just dive deeper conversationally. Again, no shade to anyone that actually, did go physical and cross that, you know, bridge when they got there. But again, it's a case by case situation. Every relationship, every connection is different. And he was just comfortable doing that. And I think it was just, again, commendable, like you said. And yes, excited to see maybe what Katie's take on it will be for her season. So
Mhm.
excited to see when Fantasy Suits will hit that. But still far from now. They're just wanting the premiere date and just some sort of promo at this point. That's all we ask.
Absolutely. Tiffany here says, why would Wells be going to a different location before filming BIP? So if, well, they're in Mexico, which is also where they film BIP. So he might be taking a little boys trip before going to BIP, maybe get there a little bit early
Mm.
while they kind of get the contestants in. They bring the contestants out to Paradise about 2 weeks before they start rolling. With the quarantine restrictions, they might even bring the contestants out a little bit earlier. And if Wells is going to be the host or the bartender, which would be expected because he has been on the past 3 seasons, he might want to get there early to have some fun with his friends from Bachelor Nation before he gets down to, his job as the bartender slash host or whatever it may be. He's got a tough month ahead of him. Maybe he wants to have a little bit of fun before filming. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I agree. And again, with COVID protocols, there's so much hearsay and they have all these different kind of standards, especially international. Like that's a whole different playing field, especially with Mexico. So it would seem, not super sketchy or kind of out of the blue if they were there a little bit earlier. And yeah, again, it's hard because it does seem like a boys trip, but it's like you're also in Mexico. Like, is that a coincidence? Because Bachelor in Paradise should be filming right now. So again, it would just be good timing for them to just be posting it now, the time frame, it's like lined up. So it just seems like a little bit of a coincidence to me if they don't end up hosting. So we'll just have to continue to keep our eyes on their socials and their Instagram stories. All right, Nicole
Nicole
says,
says, oh my gosh,
do you want
the
here, I'll let you take this
shade.
one.
Okay, I'm not sure if Matt and Karen will get married. You know what? I totally respect you for calling Rachel a Karen. Obviously, her past is not okay. She has a dark past. There is no denying that. And I get that, and I respect your opinion on that. However, I do believe that she has made an effort publicly to grow and change and evolve, and I believe that Matt believes that too. Otherwise, he wouldn't be with her. But in these situations, it takes time for everyone to forgive Rachel, especially the viewers watching. So I understand that it might take you more time to accept or forgive her for her past. And you know what? Feel free to call her a Karen. I completely understand. But I'm not sure if Matt and Karen will get married either. Like I said earlier in today's live, I don't really think they'll make it down the aisle. But I do believe that Rachel is committed to growing and changing, and I wish her all the best in doing that and righting her wrongs.
For sure. And I agree with Nicole. I don't see them getting married at all. Again, like you kind of mentioned, Zachary, I just see them maybe lasting like a couple months here and there, seeing more appearances. But other than that, I kind of think it's a wrap for them. And speaking of a wrap, you guys, it's also a wrap for us on today's live
Yes.
stream. See what I did there? You guys, that's
Yeah, I
all we
saw
have to share
it.
with you for now. As always, we want to know your thoughts. So if you missed the live, still tell us your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, we're always reading the comments and seeing what you guys conjure up and your theories and whatnot. So definitely let us know your thoughts on everything we've talked about today. Lastly, don't forget to follow us on all our socials. Please subscribe and ring the bell because we'll be back with more news updates and reactions, more lives, more topics, especially as we get closer to Katie's premiere date. We cannot wait. Can you guys wait? Are you not that excited? Just let us know in the comments. As always, I was joined today by Zachary Reality. I'm Hippa Berry, and thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you later.